This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Won't let you out. This is where you fall down. You weren't ready when heaven rained down in a storm cloud. Oh, don't let your feelings out. Every word you speak on the back page, dripping in a joke in a seascape. In your love shell, you weren't ready to meet the angels. When you fall, then it don't. When you care, then it won't. You weren't ready when heaven rained down. When you fall, should've cared. When you see, stay
is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, so true. It does not matter who the host is. What matters is who the listeners are. I think that has been the equation, not just for today, but for some time, as there is no doubt about that. That is for sure. Anyways, how has it been for the last 24 hours or so? Because always important as we are talking about that stuff. No doubt about that. So anyways, let's see, what day is it? Because I'm lost inside of a romance, a wilderness of pain. Today's Tuesday, August the 8th of 2023, day 219th of the year, and only 146 days left to go. I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. Not like your neck, but, the neck of the woods that you're in. Because, we're kind of like, some level of wooded acres. Get that as a Waco reference real quick. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. And coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, Safety Regiment. There you go. Some stuff to think about. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the things that are happening. A lot of stuff happened from yesterday to today because that's how the world works. I think you know that and I know that. So I didn't say anything that was too genius there, but maybe just genius enough to get away for a few minutes. The other side of the equation, our show is about safety and the news and safety. So, few things there that are combined. If you want to interact with the show, simple process, callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That'll get everything moving and grooving for you. Not a problem in regards of getting everything set up for you real there. So there you go. That will take you down the equation of getting everything moving and grooving. Simple process, call in radio. So I've been looking around, been having some stuff sent to me. It's interesting on how our industry is constantly always looking for folklore in regards of some of the crap that goes on. It's just amazing to hear of, I hear what people are saying in the industry, but I don't think that it's applicable to me because what can I learn to teach? Is it just for shock value? It's like I get so confused on some of the stuff. Listen, if you're not aware of this, but if you're in this field of safety, some of the shit that you do is shocking. Like, seriously. If I walk into an organization and they have a stupid sign on the wall that says, we have been incident-free for 1,095 days, yeah, that's shocking. Not because it's accurate. It's shocking because, people have been lying to you. That just means that people are not reporting. That's shocking to me. Holding people accountable for safety, but having operations override everything else because operations is more important than safety, yeah, that's shocking to me. So maybe we should not so much be worried about the shock. We'll call it the shocker. Be so concerned about the shock opposed to being involved in what the hell's going on in reality. Maybe that's one way to look at it instead. Anyways, with that being said, let's start talking right away about what the hell was trending in the overnight, because I think that is going to be importante.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so in taking a look-see around, Tesla's leadership gets shaken up. And a rare bird graces Green Bay, Wisconsin. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the shit list. Mark Cuban likes his privacy, and Adele is getting a holiday spirit. We'll talk about that as we get into the showbiz. Fisher-Price is releasing a Hocus Pocus playset, and Little Mermaid hits Disney Plus next month. So there you go. I think that's where Disney's going to struggle with some of their movies, is how quick some of that stuff gets over there. And then we'll bring in some professional broadcasters in the middle of all this junk and have them talk about what the hell is going on inside of the world and the profession and the news and all that kind of funny because, that's what they would do. That's what they kind of do around here. So we have them waiting at the table. We'll have some John Smalls inside of here. We'll have the health beat, all the fun stuff that we get to do in some level of a main story. Because if we didn't do a main story, I figured we'd be just doing a story to do a story, opposed to be talking about the main stuff of what the hell is going on. I mean, just think about it in that seg. Anyways, I got some Mark Mayfield waiting on the other side of the equation, so let's do that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. Former President Trump's legal team is pushing back against a request for a protective order in his election interference case. The Department of Justice filed for the order, asking the judge to place some limits on Trump's speech about the case, after the former president posted, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." Trump's lawyers claim it violates the First Amendment. President Biden is cracking jokes about his age. While hosting the World Series champion Houston Astros at the White House on Monday, Biden made the joke while praising team manager Dusty Baker.
Dusty, it wasn't easy. People counted you out saying you're past your prime. Hell, I know something about that.
Biden went on to call Baker legendary. Biden has faced questions over whether he's fit to serve as he seeks re-election at the age of 80. Ohio voters head to the polls today in a special election that could affect the future of abortion rights in the state. The issue on the ballot would make it more difficult to amend the state constitution and to get citizen initiatives before voters. The measure would raise the threshold for approval on amendments to 60%. Instead of the current simple majority required. Opponents say the goal is an effort by the state's Republican lawmakers to make an upcoming November vote on enshrining abortion rights in the Constitution an uphill battle. Supporters say the goal is to keep out-of-state special interests from influencing Ohio law. Pope Francis says the Catholic Church is open to everyone, including the gay community. Brian Shook has more.
He made his comments during a press conference on the papal plane. He later added the church still has rules after a reporter reminded him women are not allowed to become priests and the Catholic Church cannot bless same-sex marriages. The Pope also said his health was good following surgery for an abdominal hernia. I'm Brian Shook.
And at least 2 people are dead as powerful storms slammed parts of the south and east coast. In Alabama, a man was killed when he was struck by lightning, while a teen in South Carolina died after being hit by a falling tree. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The US says it's had frank and difficult face-to-face talks with Niger's military coup leaders. South Korea is evacuating tens of thousands of teenage scouts from the World Jamboree as a powerful storm approaches. Asylum seekers who refuse to board a barge in southern England could have their support from the UK government cancelled. And India's space research agencies released first images of the moon from its third lunar mission.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Back-to-school shopping is costing Americans more with inflation. Trey Thomas reports.
This Florida parent says she has to watch her spending.
We're going to recycle what we already have at home, and whatever we're missing, that's what we're going to get this year to make sure it fits into the budget, because everything is double the price.
The National Retail Federation says families are expected to spend $25 more for school supplies than last year. Overall, Americans will spend a record $42 billion compared to last year's $37 billion. I'm Trey Thomas.
A former FBI official who was a key investigator in the alleged Trump-Russia ties is expected to plead guilty to charges of illegally working for a Russian oligarch. A court order shows that Charles McGonigal is currently in talks about the plea. He was indicted earlier in the year on conspiracy and money laundering charges. He apparently worked for the oligarch in 2021, who was sanctioned for interfering with the 2016 U.S. presidential election. McGonigal is one of the highest-ranking former FBI officials to be charged with a crime. Zoom is telling its employees to come back to the office. Lisa Taylor has more.
The platform became a staple app during the height of the COVID pandemic at work and for personal use. A spokesperson for Zoom said the company believes a structured hybrid approach would be the most effective for its employees. Workers who live close to an office will be required to work on site to interact with their teams. I'm Lisa Taylor.
And thousands of city workers in Los Angeles are preparing to stage a one-day walkout. Personnel including sanitation crews, traffic officers, airport workers, and engineers are expected to join, likely resulting in service disruptions across the nation's second-largest city. It's part of an effort to protest contract negotiations with city leaders who union officials say are refusing to bargain in good faith. The workers plan to picket for 24 hours at multiple locations, including City Hall and LAX. This would mark the first such strike action in more than 40 years. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with BIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take BIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
Well, definitely we don't want any kind of self-imploding, that's for sure. It is 16 minutes past the top of the hour as we are talking. Anyways, let's get into the shit list real quick because that is what we do. The state of Oregon has lifted its 72-year-old ban on self-service gas station. Yes. Governor Tina Kotek signed the bill last week that now allows drivers to choose between having the attendant pump their gas or doing the job themselves. Now there's only one state still that enforces the ban, and that's New Jersey. Why the ban? The Retail Gasoline Dispensary Safety Act, which has passed in the Garden State back in 1949, cites its safety concerns on why drivers should not pump their own gas. This is according to ABC. Now, I will tell you, I used to travel to Oregon all the time. For work many moons ago. And I remember the first time going there in regard to trying to get gas, and I did not realize that it was a full service gig, not a self-service. And I got out of the car and grabbed the pump, and whoa, I thought the world was coming to an end in regards on how the reaction was of everything that was happening. It was the weirdest thing, but hey, we made it through it. So now we're down to one state-o in regards to doing this. So it'll be interesting to see if New Jersey says, hey, maybe it's time to move on, dear John. I don't know. What do you think about this? Is it going to make it more difficult for people now? I mean, you know that pump thing is going to be very weird because people haven't done it for such a long period of time. And then, you know, that's a job. It's a job that's being lost throughout the state of Oregon. So it'll be another interesting thing to see what happens. So there you go. Anyways, Tesla's chief financial officer is stepping down after more than a decade with the company. The transition process will continue through the end of the year as Zachary Kirkhorn stays on until his replacement is up and running, and that's when the company's current chief accounting officer. In the statement on X, Elon Musk said, "I would like to thank Zach Kirkhorn for his many contributions to Tesla over the course of 13 often difficult years." This is according to NBC News. Meanwhile, in a separate post, Musk says that he might need surgery before his ready to have his face-to-face in the fighting ring, but that he'll know for sure by next week. This is according to Elon Musk. Worth remembering, Zuck competes in MMA matches just for kicks, so he does have a profound leg up on the tech billionaire rival. So there you go. Listen, when you're doing MMA matches, we're really going to call it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because this is what we're talking about. You're not really doing that for fun. I mean, there might be a level of fun there, but you're doing it to learn some shit about yourself because that's really what it boils down to when you get in there. And, you know, it's the game of the most minute thing can change everything for you. It's realistically on how that works. So there you go. A Rosetta spoonbill was spotted in Green Bay, Wisconsin last week. This is the first confirmed sighting of the rare pink bird in the state in 178 years. Wonder how they confirmed it back then. The bird looks like it's straight out of Dr. Seuss' book. Local bird watchers Logan Lease told Fox 11 that noting that it was a pink feathers, red eyes, and partially bald head and a giant spoon-shaped bill. It's only a second sighting of the bird in the state, with the one recorded back in 1845. There you go. Maybe the simulation messed up and we had no clue what the hell was going on.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, the World's Scout Jamboree has brought together thousands of youth interested in learning about citizenships and life skills from around the world to South Korea this year. Now, organizers are working on evacuating everyone from the site as a typhoon threatens their massive camping facilities. But wait, according to reports, the parents that have expressed concerns over the event's sanitation and food offering even before the storm threat, the event organizers are buzzing that 36,000 plus to an alternate site, and expects to continue the program through the conclusion of next weekend. So there you go. 36,000. I mean, that does not sound like a fun busing thing. And I want to know about the concerns. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? How sanitary is it? I mean, there's some things that come to mind as we are talking, but we'll leave those here and there right now. Anyways, Russia's space agency is gearing up for the first moon mission in nearly 50 years with the launch of the Luna Lancer on Friday. To ensure that no one near the launch site is in danger if things go really wrong, officials have a plan to preemptively evacuate locals the day before. They also want to be sure that no one is injured by falling on rocket fragments. If it all goes well, the lunar lander will analyze soil samples on the moon's south pole and explore the nearby crater. This is all according to Newsweek. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Anyway, some news was coming about yesterday all over the place, and let's talk about this because it was kind of unexpected. But actress Sandra Bullock's longtime partner, model and photographer Brian Randall has died. He passed away on Saturday after 3 years of battling with ALS. According to a statement from the family, Randall and Bullock first met when he photographed her son's Lewis's birthday back in January of 2015. 1 year later, they took their relationship public. He was 57 at the time of his passing. So there you go. Some very interesting stuff as we are talking. With that being said, let's do this. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the market beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, August 8th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets started the week on solid footing, but the rebound may be short-lived. Another round of inflation data is due out this week, and it could halt the market in its tracks. The July read of CPI is due Thursday and is expected to show the deceleration of inflation has slowed. Core inflation is expected to hold relatively steady at 4.7% and well above the Fed's target rate. At this level, the market should assume the Fed will have to hike rates again later this year and maybe more than once. As it is, the market is only offering a 30% chance for another interest rate hike this year. The earnings season is coming to a close, and the results are not good. More companies than average beat their consensus targets, but by a smaller than average margin, leaving the final growth rate deep in negative territory. And the outlook for the second half deteriorated. The odds that the S&P 500 will post negative earnings growth in Q3 are high, and the odds for the Q4 are rising. In this scenario, the market is nearing a tipping point and may soon teeter into another deep correction without a shift in the fundamental outlook for economic growth. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for the information. Let's talk about this. The Dow added about 407 points to close at 35,473 on Monday. And let's see, the S&P added about 40 points to close at 4,518. And the NASDAQ added about 85 points to close at 13,994. West Texas Intermediate closed at $82 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $85 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.82, and Bitcoin was ticked up on Monday, trading just at 29,100. There was also more than 6,860 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Monday, and about 1,450 such cancellations. So just so you know, tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $1.55 billion jackpot, or a $757.2 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. At the top of the hour, we talked about billionaire Mark Cuban likes his privacy during a recent appearance on the Really Good podcast. The Shark Tank star told the host that he does his own driving, laundry, and cooking because he has a need for privacy. I just try to be the same person that I was when I was poor, he explained. This was via the Daily Mail. So there you go. Good to hear that he's keeping it real I mean, that's the best way to probably do everything as we are talking. Take a listen to this real quick because this is going on. A Liberty University football player has died. Sarah Bartlett has more.
Taj Boyd was 19 years old. He was an offensive lineman for the Flames. Liberty's athletic department released a statement confirming his death, saying that Taj will be missed dearly. They added he'll always be remembered as a Flame. Boyd was a 3-star recruit out of Oscar Smith High School in Chesapeake. His cause of death hasn't been released. I'm Sarah Bartlett.
Okay, thank you, Sarah Bartlett, for sharing the information there. The victim in a deadly car crash in Aiken County, South Carolina, is being identified. Take a listen to this.
The victim is being identified as 49-year-old Francisco Candido Aviles of Newberry. Watch Fox 57 News reports the incident was a single vehicle crash. Candido Aviles ran off the road and struck a tree. The car crash occurred in the 700 block of Azuga Lake Road. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. I'm Tyreek Wynn.
Okay, thank you, Tyreek, for that one right there. Take a listen to this. The Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources wants a public opinion on their bear plan. Yeah, bear plan.
The department is about to finalize their black bear management plan, but they'd like opinions and ideas before they do. The plan will help guide management practices, address population and habitat, go over bear programs, and more. Once the draft is finalized, it will be in effect through 2032. Since 2001, the plan has been revised twice thanks to public participation. You can read the plan, give your opinions, and find out more at dwr.virginia.gov. I'm Sarah Bartlett.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for that one right there as we are talking. So you know that this is going to be a big topic of conversation, so let's talk about it. But do you have champagne wishes and caviar dreams ahead of tonight's Mega Million Lottery drawing? Take a listen.
$1.5 billion. That's what we get with almost 4 months since no grand prize winner in the Mega Millions drawing. Tonight's jackpot now the largest Mega Millions in history and the third biggest in the U.S. lottery history. What would you do if you won?
We're going to go with trust fund first and then move forward, get both my parents a place.
This man plans on jet setting around the world.
I want to go a lot of places. If I win this money, I'm going a lot of places, you know.
The drawing's at 11 and the one-time lump sum is an estimated $757 million. Natalie Rodriguez, Miami.
Okay, so there you go. You know, there's a lot of dreams out there going on with what people are thinking about. Anyways, let's get into some more serious stuff real quick. A Russian informant is being detained in Ukraine in an alleged plot to assassinate President Zelensky. Trey Thomas reports.
The woman is now being questioned about working to find information on an upcoming trip Zelensky planned. Ukraine's Secret Service says the informant was trying to find details of his itinerary to give to Russian officials. Ukraine officials said they were working on the struggle against traitors in Ukraine. I'm Trey Thomas.
So think about that real quick, the wildness that this becomes in regards of, hey, now we're doing everything possible to try to take the man out. So it gets very weird really quick. Anyways, the Warren City Council in Michigan has filed a motion to dismiss federal lawsuit from Mayor Jim Fouts seeking to get the ballot for another term. Council Secretary Mindy Moore calls the mayor's lawsuit a slap in the face to voters.
He's just trying to, I think, just cause trouble. He just cannot go out gracefully. You know, to do this last-minute attempt to disrupt things is so disingenuous to the voters. They voted for term limits.
The primary election will happen as scheduled today with Fouts on the ballot due to the term limit rules. Fouts argues the primary should not count without his name being being before the voters. Warren City Council Secretary Mindy Moore says that they have heard from residents who are upset that the mayor continues to fight to be on the ballot for another term.
Even people that supported Fouts in the past and appreciated the job he did know it's time to go.
So, I mean, term limits are there for a reason, but I mean, term limits only apply to certain positions, which is another whole other mess of things to talk about. No doubt about that as we are leaning on that one. So take a listen to this. Family and friends of community members are remembering the 9-year-old who was killed in a shooting over the weekend in Chicago next to the Portage Park neighborhood. The relative attended the vigil last night. Take a listen to what they had to say.
She was a beautiful person with a big, big heart. It's just a shame that her light was dimmed. Just gone, completely gone.
The young victim was shot and killed Saturday night at the 3500 block of North Long Avenue. Authorities say that Her father tackled the suspect gunman, and during the struggle, the gun went off again, hitting the suspect in the face. The suspect, identified as Michael Goodman, was taken to the hospital in critical condition. He is charged with first-degree murder in a shooting. So there, a lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking. Let's continue with some other things that are happening inside of the world, though, just in regards of what we're taking a look at. Let me take a look at this one real quick. I love how I get news with sports when I tell them, don't give me news with sports. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Take a listen to this. Winemakers have a new ally to fight against crop sickness. Take a listen to this.
NASA technology can alert California vineyards to early signs of grape and vine diseases, saving the industry from economic damages. Scientists are now able to detect early signs of infection in Cabernet Sauvignon grapevines long before physical evidence starts appearing. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Trey Thomas, for that one. Take a listen to this. Home prices are up and reaching highs across the country. Take a listen to what Mark Mayfield has to say.
A new report from Black Knight says prices went up 0.8% in June after a long slowdown. Prices hit record levels in about 60% of major housing markets in the U.S. Annual price growth has been overall highest in the Midwest and Northeast, and specifically in Hartford, Connecticut, Seattle, and San Jose. I'm Mark Mayfield.
So there you go. If you want to sell, but you have to move out of that area. Stuff to think about. Anyways, a New York City District Attorney believes there are more victims who have been sexually assaulted on video by a doctor in Queens. Belinda Katz says the videos that were seized from the apartment of Dr. Z. Alan Chen depicting sex crimes against at least 11 other female victims, and some of the victims are still unknown to the investigator. Take a listen to this.
At the most vulnerable time in a person's life, when they're in the hospital expecting trustworthy and good service, this is what happens to them.
Officials say that some of the victims were assaulted inside of the New York Presbyterian Queens Hospital. Dr. Shen has pleaded not guilty and is currently being held without bond on Rikers Island. So there you go. Oh, I mean, some definitely some things going on for sure there. Take a listen to this. The U.S. is helping leave amid the military takeover of our country. Mark Mayfield has a story.
State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said more than 100 U.S. citizens were evacuated from the country last week. This is in addition to many U.S. embassy personnel who were ordered to evacuate. Miller added that the U.S. is ready to help any other Americans in the country seeking assistance to leave. Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum was arrested along with his family, and a general was declared head of state. Bazoum was elected in 2021 in what was Niger's first democratic transition since its independence from France. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for that. Let's do this real quick. It is 33 minutes past the top of the hour, so you know what we need to do.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, story of the main of the story, you know, that kind of stuff that we get to do for sure as we are talking. So let's talk about some main story stuff because I think that that's going to be important. Listen, I don't know where you work. I don't know what you do. I don't know who you interact with. I don't know who you don't interact with, but I do know a couple of things. And a lot of the stuff that we do at work, even though there is work to be done, but a lot of stuff deals or interact with relationship building. And when I talk about relationship building has changed quite a bit over the years. So let's talk about that for a moment. As we went through the pandemic, you know how you normally have that one person or maybe multiple people inside of your office that walks around and talks to everyone and interacts with everyone and tries to catch up to see what the hell's going on to kind of move forward. And I mean, it's part of the relationship building, no doubt about that. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, during the pandemic, you didn't really have that person because, hey, we were all stuck somewhere doing work from home. So now that became a Zoom call. That became a Microsoft Teams call. That became a standard phone call of somebody going around pretty much doing the exact same thing, but now it's virtual and now it's kind of a little bit more personal because you don't have that opportunity of doing the walk away if you need to. And that's what I want to talk about, not the walking away portion, but it's interesting that for what you do for work and what I do for work, a lot of it plays a factor into trust building. And regardless of what you do, if you do not have a level of trust within the organization, you are not going to be successful there. Think about it. Because you believe with the work that you do day in and day out, regardless of what that work is, that the work is going to be appreciated, the work is going to be done in a way that you can sleep at night, and that things inside of the environment will change based on the work that you do. Now, listen, I look at it as there's so many different aspects that you play inside of the work environment, but I always like to use the example of being a cog on a wheel because it's easier, because you know that it's going to continue to spin regardless of when you're gone. But you have to look at it from you are still helping propel things forward. But here's the thing. When trust is violated, things will not occur on the way they need to. When trust is violated, things will not happen inside of your organization the way that they once were, because the way that you look at stuff. Because that's the funny part. When you have a trust violation inside of your workplace, we won't go into the personal stuff, but if you have a trust violation inside of your workplace, you know you're going to struggle moving forward because you start thinking of, well, what happens if we get back to where we were once before? And everything goes back to the same place. Think about it for a moment. It gets really weird when you start thinking about that. It gets really strange when you start looking into that and in regards of, hey, this is how that happens. So what do you do differently? What do you do to make sure that there is still a level of trust? Because listen, the trust thing kind of is a two-way street. It has to interact with management, but it also has to interact with the team members that are there. Because management's always going to hold you responsible for what you do. Just kind of the way that it works. Well, let me rephrase that. Because it's going to be most management is going to hold you responsible for the things that you do. The same way that you should be able to hold management responsible for what they say that they're going to do. And that's where that two-way street goes. And if there is a failure between the two, that normally becomes the issue. That becomes the problem. So think about that for a moment. How does the trust work inside of your organization? Is there a level of trust? Is there not a level of trust? Or do you look at it and go, nobody really talks about any of this stuff because it doesn't matter? Because I think trust is going to be the biggest factor inside of your organization. Think about that.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobile.io. That's mobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 43 minutes past the top of the hour. This right here, oh, When You Fall by Oceanic. I like this one. I really do. Anyways, this is still the Rated R Safety Show. Jay Allen, the mornings hour numero uno of press. So, yeah, you can do a little streamer-eamer action of this one. Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify. Yeah, you can party it out with that. So there you go. Yeah. So some fun stuff for sure. Thanks to Oceanic for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Okay, so let's get into the move and the groove of the lifetime. of what we got going on. So. Yeah. Let's move it forward, my friends. So let's talk real quick about the most important thing that I'm ever going to tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends to write love on her arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To write love on her arms wants to help you know that people have been where you are right now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to twloha.com. That's twloha.com. Go to the section that says Find Help and go right there and know that you are not alone. The crisis text line is available on their website. The information for the crisis text line for the U.S., Canada, and for the U.K. There's also one listed for Ireland. The national suicide number is listed on there as well, besides some other resources that are going on. Or if you just want to get involved, there's a way to get involved as well. And there's ways to help out, by going to some of the events that they help out in and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, as I take a look around right now on August the 18th to the 19th, Breakaway Music Festival in Grand Rapids, Michigan, August the 24th through the 25th, mental health first aid training. That's via the internet. You can take a look right there. And then August the 25th through the 27th, Wonderbus Music Arts Festival in Columbus, Ohio. And if you're in Florida, September the 9th, Brevard Recovery Fest. That's right there in Melbourne, Florida. So, I mean, that's just to name a few of some of the stuff that's coming up. So there you go. To write love on her arms, TWLOHA.com. Let's get back into some other news and some things that are going on inside of the sequence of the news. Take a listen to this, not something you normally hear of, but a woman in critical condition after apparently being in a shark attack in Queens. Take a listen.
It happened around 6 p.m. Monday night at Rockaway Beach near 59th Street. One beachgoer said he had second thoughts about going for a swim.
My girlfriend and I were about to jump in the water, and then a cop came flying by and just said that there had been a shark attack on the beach.
Police sent out drones to look for the shark that attacked the woman who was pulled from the water after being bitten. City Park officials said the beach won't open until after 11 a.m. Tuesday while they investigate. The woman was taken to an area hospital. I'm Jacqueline Carl, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Take a listen to this. People can't get enough of Barbie, and now you can get a fill in San Diego this weekend. Bree Tennis explains.
The Barbie Truck Dream House Living Tour will stop at the Westfield UTC Mall Saturday, celebrating all things Barbie, from graphic tees and hoodies to blankets and home goods. Organizers say merchandise ranges from $12 to $75, and any purchase over $40 will include a free Barbie gift. The truck will be parked between the store's perch and room and board. You can get your Barbie on from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
Okay, so go get your Barbie on. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but yeah, sure. Sounds great. So there you go. Take a listen to this. A federal judge is dismissing Donald Trump's counter-defamation lawsuit against writer E. Jean Carroll. Mark Mayfield explains.
The judge ruled Trump's legal team did not prove Carroll's statements about the former president during a CNN interview in May were false. Carroll was asked about the jury's verdict finding Trump sexually abused her but did not rape her, as defined under New York law, in which she responded, "Oh, yes, he did." Carroll was awarded $5 million in the civil suit. Trump is also set to go on trial in January on another defamation lawsuit brought by Carroll in 2019 for statements that Trump made while president. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, take a listen to this. The family service members killed during the chaotic pullout of Afghanistan are demanding answers from the Biden administration. Let's see. Mom Kelly Barnett lost her son at Kabul airport. Take a listen.
The Biden administration, incompetent, cowards, evil.
Several family members shared testimony on Monday at the Congressional Forum in Escondido, California. Many said that they have received inaccurate answers from the administration on what occurred in Kabul airport, where 13 service members were killed in a suicide bombing. The mother of Sergeant Nicole G., who was killed in the attack, said that the lives of who was killed in the attack says that she lives every single day knowing that her daughter's death could have been prevented. Many of those killed were from a second issue that occurred first in the regiment assigned by the camp in Camp Pendleton Darren Hoover lost his son and accuses the Biden administration for its sick victory lap after the Afghan pullout.
To say that they're satisfied with the withdrawal of our troops is nothing short of disgusting and ignorant.
Republican Congressman Darrell Issa from California says that the hearing will be the first of many.
There are many, many questions unasked or unspoken today that have been asked that we will get to the bottom of.
Okay, so a lot of stuff going on there. I'm sure we're going to hear some more as we are going forward. Workers at Starbucks in San Diego overwhelmingly vote to form a union. Take a listen to this.
It is the first chain in the coffee house to unionize in the city of San Diego. Workers voting 15-2 for better working conditions, wages, and schedules. They are under the banner of Starbucks Workers United. Now the National Labor Relations Board must certify the election before contract negotiations can begin. I'm Phil Farrar.
Okay, thank you, Phil, for that one as we are talking, no doubt about that. So some interesting stuff for sure as we take a look around at that. Take a listen to this because I have some, John Smalls waiting to let you know about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Lee. Bruce Lee said, "Instead of buying your children all the things you never had, you should teach them all the things you were never taught. Material wears out, but knowledge stays." Excellent quote. Bruce was taken way too soon, and sadly, so was his son Brandon. Sad and tragic stories. But this quote kind of reminds me of a decision we made a few years ago. We quit buying Christmas presents for our kids. They're adults now, and we made the decision to buy adventures and experiences. We take them on a little trip somewhere. It's always one of my favorite weeks of the year. We don't need more material things, but we can all use more memories. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Coronavirus numbers are on the rise as the summer travel season wraps up. Baylor infectious disease expert Dr. Peter Hott says this is a nationwide trend.
The good news was a few weeks ago we were about the lowest we've been in the United States, but now it looks as though the cases are going up.
Now, it's unclear what's leading to the surge, but there's a new paper suggesting that nose picking may be part of it. It was done in Amsterdam and looked at healthcare workers. Those who admitted to digging for those boogers contracted COVID about more than double the rate of those who didn't, although researchers were quick to say that there's not a definite link. Doctors are warning against using vegetable oil in eyes, despite some folks on social media encouraging its use for eyes. There's widely seen videos on TikTok showing people rubbing castor oil around their eyes and promoting it as a way to treat eye-related issues. Reported product safety concerns are prompting Missouri officials to suspend operations at 3 marijuana facilities. It's believed about 200 people purchased product from a batch that may have contained mold growth. Health update, Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Zoom is telling its employees to come back to the office. Lisa Taylor has more.
The platform became a staple app during the height of the COVID pandemic at work and for personal use. A spokesperson for Zoom said the company believes a structured hybrid approach would be the most effective for its employees. Workers who live close to an office will be required to work on site to interact with their teams.
Elon Musk says he may need surgery before a potential fight with Mark Zuckerberg can be scheduled. On a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Musk said he was getting an MRI of his neck and upper back Monday. The post was in response to Zuckerberg revealing he had suggested August the 26th as a date for the fight after Musk first issued the challenge in June. On Sunday, Musk said the potential fight between the two billionaires will stream live on X, with proceeds going to a charity for veterans. Musk says he'll know if he needs surgery this week. And Threads is rolling out a new feature that will allow users to see their liked posts. The Meta-owned social media platform made the feature live over the weekend. Users can find a link to their liked posts in Settings. Check report, Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large Gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio.
Sounds like a great plan to me. Let's go ahead and do some Gas X pills. So let's take a look back at things that happened back on this date. Let's take a look at 1974 in particular. In an address to the country, President Nixon announces his resignation from office. He supported Gerald Ford as his successor and trumpeted some of his accomplishments while in office. This came exactly 6 years after Nixon and the running mate first received the Republican Party nomination. He would formally leave office the next day. That happened back in 1974. So there you go. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I got some of those for you. Aubrey Miller turns 22. Reagan Smith, 23. Shawn Mendes, 25. Ryan Garcia, 25. Danny Dyer, 27. Lauv turns 29. Casey Cott, 31. Anthony Rizzo, 34. Princess Beatrice turns 35. Peyton List, 37. Roger Federer turns 42. Megan Good turns 42. Shayna Baszler turns 43. Jay-Z Chazes turns 47. Drew Lachey turns 47. Dustin Hoffman, he turns 86 today, so there you go. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I have some of those for you. It's International Cat Day, National Happiness Happens Day, Oddie Day, National Bowling Day, Top 8 Challenges Day, Scottish Wildlife Day, Dying to Know Day, National Dollar Day, and National Frozen Custard Day. I guess that's some days to really give some considerations to of some other stuff. That is for sure. So think about it in that particular fashion. Anyways, before I forget, let's talk about this real quick. This is the Conklin Conference Human Organizational Performance Conference coming up in Orlando. Yes, that's September the 27th through the 29th. If you want to come out, hang out with us here in Orlando, you have the opportunity to hang out with Jen Long, Bob Edwards, Mark Yeston, and Andrea Baker. Of course, Todd Conklin will be there, and I'll be there doing the hosting stuff. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io. That is safetyfm.io for more information. So that will let you know exactly what is going on. No doubt about that. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on, so there you go. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to actually go over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so if you want to come out and hang out with us and do everything over there. If you stay on Safety FM, you can hang out with Sheldon Primus, and he'll be talking about the business of safety consulting, so that's always an option to do as well. So different things, different strokes for different folks, that is for sure. So keep that in mind. Would love to hang out with you for a couple more hours if you're so inclined to do so. So radiobig.fm, that will get you moving and grooving on our side. So if I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave with this. Think before you speak, because once you speak, you can't think. There you go. Think about it in that particular fashion, that is for sure. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. Goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen. Down in a storm cloud. Dripping in a joke in a seascape in your love shell. You weren't ready to meet the angels. When you fall, then it don't. When you care, then it won't. You weren't